Hello students, today we are going to discuss unit 1.4, that is pillars of democracy. Let's start with the icebreakers. Discuss with your partner and choose the correct alternative. Government of the people, by the people and for the people shall not perish from the earth. This famous statement is made by, four options are given: Mahatma Gandhi, Abraham Lincoln, Nelson Mandela and Dalai Lama. The correct answer is Abraham Lincoln. A system where the government is elected and ruled by the people is called bureaucracy, aristocracy, democracy and autocracy. Now, a system where government is elected and ruled by the people, that system is known as what? Democracy. A democratic country is governed by its military, police, politicians and constitution. The correct answer for this is constitution. A democratic country is always governed by constitution. Now, the trinity of democracy comprises of three principles. Complete the web to show the trinity of democracy. Now, trinity, you can say here, the three major principles of democracy here. Now, the three major principles of democracy or three main pillars of democracy are liberty, equality and fraternity. Liberty here means what? Freedom of speech, freedom of religion and all. Equality means what? All people who are living in the country, all are equal. We are not biased with them according to their religion, caste, creed and all. And fraternity. Fraternity means brotherhood. We all feel we are brothers and sisters of each other. It leads to unity in the country. Now students, as the title or as the heading of this particular unit is pillars of democracy. Now, to build you can say, or to construct a building, we always require or we need strong pillars or strong base or strong foundation. In the same way, to build up a strong nation, or you can say to build up a strong democratic nation, these three principles or this trinity of democracy are very essential. That is liberty, equality and fraternity. You have to keep in mind, these are the main pillars of democracy. Liberty, equality and fraternity. Match the following. See here, column A and column B. In column B, A, they have given you all the words, and in column B, the meanings of those words are given. Constitution. What is constitution? Now, the answer is, it is an aggregated of fundamental principles or established precedents that constitute the legal basis of polity, organization, or other type of entity and commonly determine how that entity is to be governed. Now, in simple words, you can say constitution is a book where all laws are written, according to which you can say government has to run the country. Government should follow, or they must follow the rules which are, you can say, the articles which are given in the, or the articles which are written in the constitution. They have to govern the country according to the constitution only. Liberty. What is liberty? Liberty means it is the freedom to go where you want, do what you want. Equality. Equality is what? It is the state of being equal, especially in status, rights or opportunities. And fraternity means it is the sense of common brotherhood. I have explained to you all these three: liberty, equality and fraternity. They are trinity of democracy, or you can say pillars of democracy. Now, pillars form a support for concrete building, as I told you. Metaphorically speaking, a strong nation too depends on strong pillars. Discuss with your partner and explain the pillars of a democratic nation. Make a list of obstacles that are threat to the progress of a nation. Now, I told you the major principles which are required to build up a strong democratic nation is liberty, equality and fraternity. Other than that, you can say free and fair elections, and you can also say freedom for the people, or freedom of education. It is not that based on your caste, class, you are going to get education and all. Education should be free to all. Everyone should be given right to vote. So all these are what they are, the you can say main pillars of a democratic nation. If this freedom, or if all these freedoms are given to the people, what will happen, you can say they it can be helpful to them to run a democratic nation, or it can be helpful for the people to live in that particular country. Now there are certain obstacles which are threat to the progress of a nation. What are those obstacles? You can say if people are not allowed to vote, all citizens are not allowed to vote, all are not given freedom of education, if they are not given right to get educated, or there is you can say discrimination among the people according to their religion, caste, creed. If all these things, or you can say corruption, if all these things are prevalent, or it is there in the country, you can say the country won't progress. Now let's see here. Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar. He was born on 14th April 1891 in the town and military cantonment of Malhau, now Dr. Ambedkar Nagar. That particular you can say area is known as what? Dr. Ambedkar Nagar in Madhya Pradesh. He got his degree from Elphinstone College, Mumbai. He subsequently obtained the doctorate from Columbia University, US, and London School of Economics. He was also assigned the big and challenging task of framing the Constitution of India. Now, as I told you, a country is run or governed by the, you can say, the ministers of a country with the help of the articles which are written in the Constitution of India. Those articles are being drafted by the person who played a main role in drafting those articles is Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar. He is what you can say, he was the chairman of the drafting committee here. The people who had sat there, who had discussed, who had taken lot of efforts to draft those articles which we have today in the form of a constitution. He was awarded the Bharat Ratna posthumously for his dedication and commitment for the welfare of our country. He was given the honor of Bharat Ratna posthumously. Posthumously means after his death, for his dedication and commitment for the welfare of the country. Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar has laid emphasis on the values like liberty, equality and fraternity. According to him, these principles will make India a strong nation. Means he felt if the country follows these major principles, that are liberty, equality and fraternity, it will make a nation strong. He opines that hero worship is a sure road to degradation. Means he was not at all in support of hero worship. He felt that if a country they do hero worship, or they believe in hero worship, they believe in only one person, authoritative person, that becomes dictatorship. That cannot you can say be helpful for a democratic nation, and to eventual dictatorship and the collapse of nation. And what will happen at the end? That nation will collapse. Now see here, pillars of democracy. If we wish to maintain democracy not merely in form but also in fact, what must we do? Now here the Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar, he is asking a question to us, that he is telling us that if we want to maintain a democratic form of a country, not only in form, means not only to say in book or on paper, that if we have a democratic form of government in a country, but in fact, if we want a democratic country, what must we do? The first thing in my judgment we must do is to hold fast on constitutional methods of achieving a social and economic objective. Here the answer he only has given us, he has told us that the first thing you are supposed to do is to hold fast, means to hold firmly the constitutional methods. In the constitution they have given you certain articles according to which you can make certain decisions of the country related to the social problems or economic problems, or if you want to achieve social objective or economic objective, everything should be done according to the articles which are given in the constitution. See, we must hold on fast to constitutional method. We must firmly hold on the constitutional method according to the articles which are given in the constitution, that book. In the same way, we have to achieve our social as well as economic objectives. When there was no way left for constitutional methods for achieving economic and social objective, there was a great deal of justification for unconstitutional method. Means earlier when the book was when the constitution was not drafted, the book was not there for the guideline, as a guideline for the, you can say, government to govern the country. At that time they used to follow the unconstitutional methods. So that time it was justified for them. It was okay because they didn't had any guideline to govern the country. But now when the constitution is available for them, when the constitution has been drafted, it is there. So here they cannot govern the country without it. But when constitutional methods are open, there can be no justification for this unconstitutional method. These methods are nothing but the grammar of anarchy. This unconstitutional method are what? Grammar of anarchy, means a state of disorder due to the absence of non-recognition of controlling system. Now in our constitution we have the articles all are given related to the social problems of a country related to caste, culture, creed, and you can say economic objectives and all. Everything are given here, everything is given in our constitution. But here when it was not there, the methods which were followed, they are known as what? Grammar of anarchy, means we are doing whatever we want. So there is lot of disorder in the country. And the sooner they are abundant, the better for us. And he wants to tell us, the sooner we stop those following those unconstitutional method, that will be better for us only, that will be good for us only. The second thing we must do is to observe caution which John Stuart Mill has given to all who are interested in the maintenance of democracy. Here Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, he wants to tell us the second thing which we must do is to observe the caution, means to observe the warning which John Stuart Mill has given to everyone who are interested in maintaining democracy in their country. Namely, not to lay their liberties at the feet of even a great man, or to trust him with powers which enable him to subvert their institution. Means the main thing, the warning which John Stuart Mill has given us is that we should not lay their liberties, we should not give our liberty, our freedom to the at the feet of a great man. Some people, they have the tendency, mainly Indians, in this particular unit you are going to see further, mainly Indians have tendency of hero worship. A lot of hero worship thing is followed in our country. So what happened? We follow only one person, we believe him as a god, and whatever he does, we follow we feel that whatever he is doing is good. Sometimes what happens, if that person is really good by nature, if the person is a moral, or you can say example for everyone, that is well and good, that can lead to betterment of the country. But if the person is not trustworthy, that can be very dangerous for the people here. So here John Stuart Mill, he has given warning to everyone that we should not lay our liberties at the feet of even a great man. Though that man has done some good work for us, or he has done something good for us, it doesn't mean that we give all powers to him alone. We cannot make him whole and soul of in a democratic nation. It is not like that. Because sometimes what happens, if the person comes out to be untrustworthy, he is not trustworthy, then what will happen? He will subvert, or you can say he will overthrow the institution. He will not follow what is been given in the constitution. What will do? Whatever he feels is right, that only he will do it. He will not follow the constitution. Where we have a democratic nation, we choose the ministers and all, we choose the prime minister. So because of that, what happened? They have to follow the constitution only. They cannot do whatever they will. There is nothing wrong in being grateful to great men who have rendered lifelong services to the country. Here is saying there is nothing wrong in being grateful, or to, you can say, be thankful to the great men who have rendered, who have contributed a lot for the country here, who have done good for the people of the country. It is nothing wrong being grateful or thankful to them, but there are limits to the gratefulness. We cannot, you can say, go out of the limit here. As has been well said by the Irish patriot Daniel O'Connell, no man can be grateful at the cost of his honor, and no woman can be grateful at the cost of her chastity, and no nation can be grateful at the cost of its liberty. Here he has given an example of a very, you can say, nice and meaningful quote by Irish patriot, that is Daniel O'Connell. He has said, no man can be grateful at the cost of his honor. No man can be grateful by giving up his honor. And no woman can be grateful by giving up her chastity. In the same way, no nation can be grateful if it gives up its liberty. This caution, this warning is far more necessary in the case of India. Here he is saying this is more necessary in the case of India, because what happened here, see, he is telling us that hero worship is followed a lot. So because of that, what happened, people just they give up their rights to only one person, and he becomes the dictator here. See here, this caution is far more necessary in the case of India than in the case of any other country. For in India, bhakti, or what may be called the path of devotion or hero worship, plays a part in its politics unequaled in magnitude by the part it plays in politics of any other country in the world. Means here Dr. Ambedkar wants to tell us, in our country, hero worship, or you can say bhakti, prevails a lot then in comparison to the other country. Bhakti in religion may be road to the salvation of the soul. Means if you are a bhakt of certain priest, or if you are a bhakt of particular god or goddesses, so what happens, you feel that can be a part to your salvation of the soul. That can be your part to for your life after that, to live a good life after death and all. But in politics, bhakti or hero worship is a sure road to degradation. But here he wants to tell, if you are following that hero worship in politics, that it will sure lead to degradation. Means it will be wrong for you all, or it will become worse in quality. It will lead to your downfall, or to eventual dictatorship. In politics, if hero worship is followed, that can be directly said as dictatorship. On 26 January 1950, we are all going to enter into a life of contradiction. In politics, we will have equality. In social and economic life, we will have inequality. In politics, we will be recognizing the principle of one man, one vote, and one vote and one value. In our social and economic life, we shall, by reason of our social and economic structure, continue to deny the principle of one man, one value. How long shall we continue to live this life of contradiction? How long shall we continue to deny the equality in our social and economic life? Now see here he is saying on 20, Dr. Baba Sahib Ambedkar he has told us that on 26 January 1950 we are going to enter a new life of contradiction. Contradiction means what? Lot of differences. In politics we will have equality, and in social and economic life we will have inequality. In politics we will be we will have equality because we will be recognizing the principle of one man one vote. We are going to give right to everyone. All citizens will be given right to vote, and one vote one value means each and every vote has certain value here, certain worth here. In our social and economic life, we shall, by reason of our social and economic structure, continue to deny the principle of one man, one value. He's saying here, in our country, socially and economically, there is lot of discrimination among the people. Socially means what? Our country is divided into certain class, upper class, lower class, middle class. Economically also we can say here, it is divided into certain class here. The landlords, then the middle class people, then the laborers and all like that. Because we deny certain principles here. How long shall we continue to live this life of contradiction? He is asking us, how long we are going to live this life of differences? How long shall we continue to deny equality in our social and economic life? Means how long we are going to deny that we all are human beings and we all have our rights to live our life socially, economically, equally. We cannot discriminate anyone on the basis of their social, you can say class, or on the basis of their economic condition. If we continue to deny it for long, we will do so only by putting our political democracy in peril. Means if we are not considering everyone equal, if we are not considering that all people who are living in a country are equal, we are not discriminating there on the basis of class, creed, religion and all, then what we are doing here is saying we are leading our political democracy into danger. We must remove this contradiction at the earliest possible moment, or else those who suffer from inequality will blow up the structure of political democracy. Means he is saying here, if we are not paying a heed to it, if we are not paying attention to it, so the people who are living or who are suffering inequality in our country, what will happen? They will revolt, and that will lead to, you can say, riots or disturbance in the country, which this assembly has so laboriously built up. Means which this assembly means what? It is you can say the legislative assembly where the ministers and all sit. So they have so laboriously they have taken lot of hard work to build up this assembly, the Lok Sabha, the Rajya Sabha and all. Where they sit and discuss the problems related to our country and how it can be solved. So, but if this inequality is prevalent, if it exists in the country, what will happen? The people will revolt against the government, and there will be riots and all in the country. The government cannot, you can say the government will have problem to face those people and all. So in this way here he is trying to make us understand that how we should follow the major principles, that is equality, liberty, equality and fraternity. I'll stop here. In the next lecture we'll continue. Thank you.